A lot of the old school paintballers, myself included, we have a problem. You see, when we talk about the old school days of paintball to the younger generation, we say, oh, you guys have no idea what you're missing. The old school days, so much better than they are today. I mean, the game today completely sucks compared to how it used to be. You guys have no idea. Yeah, there's a problem with that. We're all a bunch of liars. As much as we put on the rose-colored goggles and think about it, the old school days were not just sunshine and roses. We had our share of problems. And anybody that says that the old days were better, all I need to do is say water-soluble paint. Almost every argument goes out the window. But I do want to talk to you guys about one of the rules that I used to play under. See, almost every recreational paintball field had this rule for one reason or the other. Let me tell you the rule, then let me explain why. The rule was that headshots did not count. Yeah, I want you to think about that for a minute. So why would any sane paintball field even have a rule like this? Well, it kind of goes back to the goggles that we're using. We were using these UVEX goggles. They cost like $8, $9, $10 depending on where you got them. And by modern standards, no, they're not safe. We don't use them. They're just don't. But back in the day, everybody thought, hey, this is great. You know, they're cheap, they're inexpensive, they'll stop a paintball. Fantastic. Then you combine that with the Woodstock face mask that we were using, you couldn't breathe, and all that other stuff. And some fields said there was like a newbie-friendly policy, and some fields actually like made little claims about it. But what it really came down to was, my understanding, the insurance companies actually mandated this. Yeah, the insurance companies said headshots cannot count, and this is their logic. The logic was that if you tell people that headshots don't count, that people will not aim for other people's heads, and therefore they won't strike other people's heads, they're not going to hit them in the unprotected ear, they're not going to smack them in their unprotected face if they're not wearing the face mask, because back in the day you didn't have to wear them. In theory. Now in practice, not so much, because there was always that guy. You knew who that guy was, because he was the guy who was either wearing the replica Kevlar helmet on his head, or he had some kind of a Tyger stripe wrap around his forehead, something to give him some protection. Because what they would do, because a lot of fields they also had the gunshots didn't count either. So what this guy would do, that guy, here's the top of the bunker. He put his chin on the top of the bunker, he put his gun on this side top of the bunker, and he would shoot, even with a primitive semi-automatic, a shot maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a second, and all you would do is sit up here like this. And you couldn't eliminate him because headshots didn't count and gunshots didn't count. And you complain to the referee, and the referee just being like, well, not much I can do about that, sorry. And that guy would always come up and he'd be like dripping with paint from the head down to his neck, and he would always have like a couple of blood bruises on his face, and he didn't care because, hey, I lasted the whole game. Yeah, you lasted the whole game, but you took 400 shots to the melon. And the other one that I saw a lot of, and I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to put the camera on the floor, the guy would lie down so that he was facing you directly. You roll your shoulder one way, you put your other shoulder the other way, and even with a pump gun, now all you're really presenting to somebody is the gun and your face. And all they would do is sit there and clink at you like this. Every freaking day. Every day. Now tournaments, they allowed headshots, but for the most part, recreational ball, for the first bunch of years that I was playing, headshots didn't count. But can you imagine today, can you imagine an airball game where headshots didn't count? I'm not even going to try to fake this because you guys are going to come up with infinitely better and more funny scenarios than I could possibly film. A bunch of things changed, including better goggles and better head protection and all that other stuff, that now headshots actually do count, which I'm very grateful for. That's one thing that I'm very happy to leave in the past. So the next time that a really old schooler starts talking about how the old days of paintball were better with the huge fields and the huge number of people out there, just kind of smile and nod and say, hey, that's all cool, but by the way, have you ever managed to get those Nelson stains out of your BDUs? Either that, or check their left index finger for a scar. If they don't have a scar on their left index finger, they're not really as old school as they think they are. And all the real old timers are going to hear that and start laughing hysterically, and all the new guys are going to look at their index finger and go, why would I have a scar on my left index finger if I was an old schooler? Don't worry about it. The less you know about that, the better.